mentality, right? That 90%, 10%, right? Every play has a life of its own. If I'm harboring thoughts from my past, if I'm worried about what my future is going to hold, now I'm distracted. Now I'm becoming mentally weak. That mental toughness to focus on this play, give this play a life of its own, huge component to what we do in our mindset, right? We constantly are talking mental toughness, dealing with adversity, right? The game of football is a game of adversity. Small adversity for individual players, big adversity for teams, right? Everybody can get caught looking at the scoreboard. We're down by 14. We're good. I can relax. Full force of adversity. Don't look at it that way. The next play, the next play, the next play. No, that lets me focus on the task at hand. Focus on the task at hand. Learn from yesterday. Learn from the last play, right? Learn from yesterday. Focus on today. What is right in front of me today? In life, what is right in front of me today from a football standpoint? What is right in front of me today from a play standpoint? Next play. And prepare for tomorrow, right? So I've learned from yesterday. I'm focused on today. That is going to prepare me for tomorrow. That is going to prepare me for plays to come as I develop this type of mentality. How do we do that? Today is the most important day. I'm going to say it over and over and over to our team. I bet I say this to them 4 to 5 times a day. Today is the most important day. Well, if today is the most important day, bring the best version of you every day. That's all we're asking from you. Bring the best version of you today. Some of you, your best version is way up here. Some of you may be right here. But if I have more players and coaches on our team and in our organization bringing the best version of themselves every day, man, now we're starting to bring the best version of the University of Texas every day. Now we don't pick and choose based on the opponent what I need to bring to the dance, what I need to bring to the party, man. You're getting the best of them. Doesn't matter what role I'm in. Doesn't matter if I'm in the academic world. Doesn't matter if I'm in my football world. Doesn't matter if I'm in my personal social world. I'm bringing the best version of me. I'm making great choices and decisions. I'm focused on today. I'm going to be a really good teammate. I'm going to be accountable and committed to my team. I've got to protect the team mentality. I've got a team-first mentality. That is the best version of me. And when we can layer this thing out, that's how now we're starting to develop the team that we want to win a championship. So,
ain't trying to deal with me. Okay, cool, you can sell that seat. Ooh, and she felt intrigued. Trying to LMP. D, go and get yourself this thing. And she trying to link up. So much we got synced up. This ain't Pepto Biz, what this pink stuff is, long tell me. Yeah, you heard me, you ain't feel me. I've been moving, I've been shaking, go and hit me on the celly. Try to sell me on something while I hold it compelling. Ever since I've been gone like Kelly, they been trying to tell me about this and that. I ain't chatting with you, we ain't going tit for tat. Trying to tell me how to get in the bag, we're going to get in the bag, I'm about to get in it. I'm like, man, that gets a habit, you should know it's automatic. I've been getting to it, I ain't noticed y'all was hating. Brand new chick, she don't know the occupation. I just wanna know that I can hold a conversation. Ooh, I don't know what y'all debating. I've been waiting for you, now I'm running out of patience. Running up a check, trying to run an operation. Went broke in the check and put 100 out of savings. I can tell now that you ain't talking about nothing. I'ma need something I can calm down from. I'm gonna pull it with the bar down one. 6 months in, I ain't once. Trying to tell me what you know about me. You don't know nothing, keep it real with me. She said she ain't trying to deal with me. Okay, cool, you can sell that seat.
Someone put me out 'cause I'm on fire. I can't give a about what they say. They've been searching for that thing to get them higher. You can't catch my drift, can't catch my wave. Damn, Kane, you done killed Abel. Unbalanced land, trying to keep the people stable. The way I feel, I might it all up. The way you feel, you might do it for the bug. All black, born to be a rebel. After this, I might go and water down the double. Listen to everything around me, I can't see. You picked a dozen roses and left them in Galilee rolling. Don't hear my cry, don't let alibis pass you. I finally starting to realize, never give up and coincide. I can't watch TV, it's all a lot. Tired of trying, go ahead and fly. Everybody want a straight answer, but media keep us blind. A good heart is not hard to find. Why do people try to define infrastructure? I don't got time, infrastructure, I don't got time. I could it's all to we're talking about your part to protecting the sons and daughters from political and slaughter. Someone put me out 'cause I'm on fire. I can't give a about what they say. They've been searching for that thing to get them higher. You can't catch my drift, can't catch my wave. Never play by the rules, guess I'm paying my dues. They gon' try to intrude, poison the multitude. Let me cook the accused, when you got different views. Just know you gon' pay the price, based off the item you choose. Ties in the culture, hit you with them get ultra. I knew you was a vulture, Holy Ghost get the ushers. No, I can't trust you. Shock you, then now you fluster. Crashing down, I was cluttered. Doing this so subtle, rolling out through the rubber. Remember this a jungle, the top always gonna be something. The middle gotta stay hunting. Why the rush left for nothing? 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 Agitated illusion, only built for confusion. The institution, modern day execution. Think I know the solution. Maybe now should I do it? Just put it in the music. Just put it in the music. Someone put me out 'cause I'm on fire. I can't give a about what they say.
100 times over. But if I bring the energy, now I'm getting them to walk into this building every day thinking, now I'm being the best version of myself. Now they're being the best version of themselves. Now I've got this all said and done. So that's kind of the nuts and bolts of kind of the big picture presentation. I'm sure, and hopefully we've got some questions. I'm not exactly how sure we're going to go through this, whether it's via the chat or just a Q&A, but I'd love to answer anything question-wise about philosophically what we're about, or schematically kind of some of the things we're doing. I will say, with COVID right now, it sucks that we have an open door policy here at the University of Texas, and would love to have you guys here, and hopefully at some point this thing will get loosened up and we can invite you and get you here. In the meantime, I know a lot of you know a lot of our coaches, and just feel free to connect with our guys. We would love to connect with you. So with that, I'll take some questions. Let's fire away.
Kick it and go. Kick it and go.
All right, Coach. Going into a program as either a head coach or as an assistant, How do you balance doing what is done there with what experiences and ideas you've had?
Right. I think that's a really good one. Naturally, especially like in my situation, I think every time you go into a new situation, they're all different, right? Sometimes you're on staff and you get hired up when a guy retires. Sometimes somebody moved on and the program's in a great place. Sometimes, like my situation, the administration wanted to make a change. I don't think that you can discount that all aspects of the program need to be changed. But I also believe in you have to stick to your principles and your beliefs that are near and dear to you and that are true to you. And so what I tried to do when I came here is say, okay, I'm going to give every player a clean slate. I'm not going to be as concerned about perceptions of the player, right, wrong, or indifferently. I was going to allow them to show me who they are and what they were about. But I'm also going to start to instill in them the process of the program, of my program. And then what I tried to do is, I dig into the tape, I dig into the players, and you start to see some schemes that show up. And then you dig into some of the people as you start to formulate your staff, and maybe you have some holdovers, and you start to ask. I don't think we can all pretend to have all the answers.
Singletary with his first carry of the game. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. Give him 3 there on the first play of the game, but it's second down.
That's the very simple parts of this thing. It's like at the end of the day, we're going to shape and structure our organization and our program the way we want to do it. But you have to ask the questions, and then you can decide, hey, yes, I'd like to keep doing it that way, or no, this is how I really want it done because I really believe in that. And then at that point, no one can ever say, well, he never asked. No, I asked. I just chose to go in this direction. Or I asked, I got told, and I said, hey, you know what, that's a good way to do it. Let's do it that way.
Singletary here running out of the gun. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage.
Looking at personnel,
no gain on the play there.
How wary are you of the now versus the future in terms of personnel needs? And how do you approach team needs of players coming in and players on the way out?
Yeah, I think first of all, in my situation, everybody has an idea of what they want their roster to look like. Whether it's position profiles, what you want specific players to look like based on the position they play, how fast, how tall, how big, what kind of football IQ.
Singletary, now it's Allen.
You got to remember, another coach, another staff, they might have valued other aspects of their program that were important to them, which is fine. So what I needed to do when I first came on board was identify what it looked like was important to the previous staff of why the roster was made up that it was made up. Maybe I was aligned, maybe I wasn't aligned. And then you can start to find where maybe we're deficient from a roster standpoint for my liking. And then that's got to be
he's going to let this go.
That's got to be your your focal point, trying to, how do I get my roster to where I need it to be? And then the second component to that is, okay, now I'm starting to recruit to our roster as well as I've got players leaving. So now I've got to look at our current roster. Where they are,
And that's the last thing you want
senior,
to
junior, sophomore.
on the road, in the playoffs,
I know
and now
I
you
want
got to touch the ball.
16 to 17
on this roster.
I know I've only got 13 scholarship offensive linemen, and of those 13, 2 of those are seniors. Well, shoot, now I'm getting down to 11, and I would love to be at 16 or 17. Well, I better go sign 5 or 6 offensive linemen in the next class. And so that's kind of the way I go about it is, A, what does the roster look like today? What is important to me? B, what is going to be moving out so that now I know what I need to bring into the roster to try to get it right to where I need it to be.
Because how do you empower kids to hold their teammates accountable? How do you make them feel that they have the ability to call someone out?
Well, I think one of the best ways to do it is to not in a corny way, but I think praising guys for doing things right. I think some of the best things we can do is.
Yeah, this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
I think that's the type of run we'll continue to see throughout this game. The snow coming down, I don't expect a lot of big plays to be broken.
A chance to say, hey, this is what coach is looking for. This is how I did it. That's how Johnny did it. That's how Billy did it. But Bob over there didn't do it that way. Maybe I need to go talk to him. And if I can start to create that environment of what I'm looking for and then praising guys for doing it right, now their comfort level to say they know what wrong looks like. And then when I can then hold those players accountable because, okay, hey guys, this is what I expect from you. This is what it looks like. I just pointed out what it looked like. The guys that did it right. Then call out the guy in whatever capacity for not doing it right. Now I've gave them kind of a blueprint for what it looks like. And then ultimately, when a player does call a guy out, how did he call him out? Did he cuss him up and down? Well, that's not what I'm looking for. This is what leadership looks like, guys. Now I'm trying to formulate a blueprint for how they go about it from calling a guy out from an accountability standpoint. And again, we're the leaders first. I have to give them a living example. And then we can build here.
All right, Brand, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of
got a couple young coach questions here. So what would you suggest for a young coach in order to get involved in a college program and advice for that young guy getting started and earning respect?
You know, back in the day, before the NCAA came up with this rule, I would have said get to camp, don't work camps. Nowadays, that's a little bit more difficult.
We were talking about with one of the GMs in the league.
My big thing is, you know, unfortunately, with COVID, it's hurt this aspect of it. I've been getting around college coaches, whether that's going to visit during spring ball, during the summer. I think getting on these types of Zooms, getting connected, trying to find your best way to connect. Like, there's a million opportunities in this profession, and I think sometimes we all want that big job and lose sight of maybe the steps that needs to be made to get to that point. So we try to hire a lot of young coaches in our program, whether it's from an analyst standpoint, a graduate assistant standpoint, director of high school relations standpoint, recruiting aspect. You know, there's a lot of avenues to find your way up the door, and then ultimately then find your way onto the field. But like me, I'm a relationship-based guy. It's hard for me to hire people in those roles if I don't have a prior relationship with you. And so if it's college coaches coming out to your school to recruit your players, whether it's getting connected via Zoom, getting on campus, going to spring practice, I think developing relationships is a big component to that, so that you can find your way and get your foot in the door.
Coach, how do you avoid a sense of complacency when you're winning fairly, regularly, or adversely not being in a low morale situation if there's a losing streak?
Well, I think that's why we say today is the most important day mentality. It's really not about our opponents, and I never reference our opponents in anything I spoke about tonight, and I don't reference our opponents to our players. You know, our opponents are really faceless in what we do. What we try to get the players to understand is, if today's the most important day, and every Saturday is the most important Saturday, we want to make sure we put ourselves in position to put our best foot forward come every Saturday. And that's as good as we can be. That's the best version of the University of Texas football program. Now, if that's good enough or not, I don't know. It may be the Dallas Cowboys that line up across from us. It may be the Little Giants. We can't control that. All we can control is being the best version of ourselves. And you know, there is some psyche involved in that, right? When you're winning, guys have a little more upbeat. They got a little more energy. When you're losing, guys are a little bit more down and a little slower. I think that's where the leadership kicks in. That's where the energy kicks in. That's where falling back on the principles and values of the organization, the pillars of the organization, kick in. And you keep reminding him of those things, and then you got to keep praising the positive activity that you're seeing, good and bad. Like, I mean, winning or losing. I think building them up, pointing out the positivity of things going on. I think we'll ultimately get players to gravitate more to that mentality of focusing on the task at hand.
They had the touchdown on the opening drive of the ball game. It was countered by just a field goal. So,
schematically on offense, is there one thing that you learned or picked up in the NFL that you brought back to the college level?
I think the value of the play action pass. I really felt like college football had gotten into a world of
and they gave up no cutback angle.
Shotgun run game with RPOs, and then if it wasn't that, it was just drop that pass.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
Will you turn the porch on off?
To play action pass, you have to call direct runs. Now you start to take off some of the RPO world, but I do think there's a lot of value in the play action pass because it's a lot easier to score when you get yards and chunks and create explosive plays. And we really try to generate explosive plays. And one of the ways that we brought back from the NFL was the play action pass. It was very helpful for us the last 2 years.
Able to move, evade, and is accurate.
Just got a question about empty. What's your first thought when emptying the backfield or bringing it back from empty into the backfield? What are you looking for in kind of a thought process of your attack there?
Yeah, I think the one key component is getting an empty is hopefully you can help your quarterback identify what the coverage might be, or identify if there's a pressure look that may be coming. And that's either aligning an empty, or maybe that's reloading your back from empty. But I think sometimes just getting an empty cleans up the picture for your quarterback and allows him to see maybe what he might get. Now, the running back can help that, right? Depending on where you put your running back, might give you a real indicator of man or zone coverage. Where the tight end is might help with man or zone coverage.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
The second component is identifying the coverages that you're going to get. So, we really carry a menu of plays out of empty that try to run inside the best coverage that you think we're going to get. And whether that's the quarterback handling on the field if we trust him, or if that's looking and then us deciding what play we want to run versus the coverage we're going to get. But I think empty provides that for you, and it spaces things out a little bit.
Coach, in looking at, and this one moves down, I'm trying to find it where it went. So give me 1 second here. Let's go with this one. How do you handle quarterback competition? Things like throws, accuracy, etc. What's your approach?
I think, we do chart, a number of attempts, because we got to be fair. If you're in a real competition, you have to be fair. So number of snaps, number of attempts. Then we start talking about missed assignments, misreads. Then we start talking about level of accuracy. And so, did he throw it to the right guy? Was he accurate? Was he accurate with the ball? But he also charged drops, because I do think there's something to be said about throwing and catching the ball. I think really good quarterbacks throw a ball that can be caught. And sometimes you can get an alarming amount of drops for a quarterback. Now, who is he throwing to? Things of that nature add up. But in the end, those are all the numbers, right? Numbers matter. But the real numbers that matter, when that guy's on the field, does the offense move the ball and do they score? Because that's the ultimate result, right? The guy can have a high completion percentage. He's throwing it to the right guy. He knows the offense inside and out. But at the end of the day, if you go into a scrimmage and each guy gets 5 series, and the guy who knows everything scores on 2 of the drives, and the guy who kind of numbers don't always look as good as the other guy, but he scores 4 out of 5 drives, you can't discount that, because maybe there's something about his leadership Maybe there's something about the guys around him playing at a higher level.
This not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Got a young coordinator.
Don't forget to turn off that
About being able to find a flow. So he struggles to find a flow and play calling. What advice can you give to get better with that?
You can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness. Maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature.
Right? Everybody makes
try to put some pressure on the defense.
And those call sheets are great. I remember my wife asked me, I was laying in bed. I really try to study the call sheet because I don't like to look at the call sheet in game. I like to call it off the field. But there's a lot on there. And she said, what, the call sheet, what makes it so unique? I said, quite frankly, honey, anybody, I could hand this call sheet to anybody. Anybody could call the game. I could tell you it's 3rd and 5. You can look at the box that says 3rd and 4 to 6 and just go down the list of big plays.
Gets this to the 24 for a gain of 4.
I think there's a real gut and a real instinct to call plays. And you have to trust your gut. You have to go with your gut. And that's part of life, and then it comes down to choices and decisions, right? When it's the right time to take the shot, when it's the right time to be playing a little conservative. But somewhere in here, there's a gut instinct involved that then ultimately gives you a flow to what you're doing because you're feeling the game rather than being a robot just reading off the call sheet.
And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. The passing game not in sync here early. And now it's 4th down.
Right. And not try to force plays, not try to just read off of the call sheet. Try to feel the calls, feel for the quarterback.
So the puck rolls out of bounds, and they'll have pretty good field position here near the 40-yard line.
Feel the hot runner. Take care of the tackle who's struggling. There's all of the feel involved and not just being the robot that reads it off
the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've been good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach, and we asked him because we saw
it all and then call the game off of gut within the parameters of the call sheet. I think that's when you can find the yards there.
Well, big plays have been a hallmark of this offense all season, so there was no reason to think they wouldn't continue in this title game. Obviously, the magnitude
looking at the game planning process, what are some of the first things you look at when you're game planning for an opponent?
Well, the first thing I look at is personnel. And you can take the personnel and say, is there a problem on this other team? Meaning, they've got a war daddy at 3 technique. They've got a lockdown. So
simple math here in the first half. They've had 3 drives offensively, and they have scored every time when they got the lead.
Well, whenever we talk about adjustments, we usually talk about an offense making adjustments, right? This is all about the defense. They've got to figure out some way, somehow to slow them down.
I think it starts to get an idea about the idea of them.
Right now,
then
they don't know where
I really dig into, I go through my personnel in our base game plan, so I watch them. Here's 12 personnel, and I'm going to watch
the kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will
formation, and I'm going to start to get a feel for it and try to find tendencies. And what I'm really looking for is those tendencies, right? Is there anything that's 65% or higher? When they're in this formation, this personnel, this is what they play.
65%.
Or these are the pressures based off of the pressure numbers that are the higher numbers. And I do that in 12, I do it in 11, I do it in 10, and I'm trying to find these tendencies.
They trail early on the road in the playoffs.
I'm just this way. I'm not big into getting in these oddball formations when I don't have any idea
and he's taken down,
I
but
try
able to slip
paint a
across the
picture for a
35.
quarterback of what he can
The drive
expect.
starting with a first down, 11 yards
I have
on that
no idea
pickup.
what they're going to do here, Billy, but we're going to figure it out on game day. That's just not how we go about our business. And so we game plan A, the personnel, B, the scheme based on the tendencies, and then ultimately C, who are we, what do we do really well? I mean, I don't want to put plays in that we don't have the personnel to run either. So there's a matchup component there as well. So I love the art of game planning. It's fun to me because ultimately that carries over in the field on game day, calling the game.
Coach, you covered a lot here today and gave a lot of insight into things. We appreciate your time and having you be a part of this.
And he's across the 43 extra yards to the 43. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
That was a really nice run there.
Best of luck to everybody this fall and spring
After the
practice.
incompletion on first down, it's awfully nice to have a running back that you can hand it to and put you back in a good situation.
Now they try the right side here. And this effort won't be enough as they rally up to stop him a couple of yards short. Just a 2-yard pickup, and that should necessitate a call for the punt team here on 4th down.
Brings up 4th down.
And how about this one now? In their own territory, a gutsy call. They're going to go for this on 4th and a yard. They'll try and run for it. And he will have the first down as he's brought down up near midfield. A solid pickup of 5 and a very solid 4th down conversion. And defensively, pure frustration.
First down.
The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. He'll let this go deep for Ruggs. And that is caught. It's Ruggs. Touchdown, Vegas. Henry Ruggs, 51 yards. And the Raiders get a score closer. And he's a little bit on the shorter side as a receiver. Maybe sometimes for the defense, tough to find the little guys, right?
Yeah, sometimes they get lost in the traffic, but usually what it means is that rather than just winning with height or even speed, they use their quickness to find a way to get open.
Well, tall, short, wide, skinny,
So my plan today was to talk a little bit of coverage fundamentals. I'm the defense coordinator here. I've coached the safeties here the past 3 years. And I'm transitioning to outside linebackers. Coached secondary by 10 years in college. So I was going to talk a little press man, a little slot man, teaching progression with you guys today. And then if anyone has any questions, feel free to fire them in the chat box. Looking forward to this for sure. So the first thing that I always like to start with any defensive position for me, especially as the defensive coordinator, I think it's important that you have clearly defined fundamentals for every position in your group, whether you're the position coach or the coordinator. I think you have to be able to define them. As a young, I'm a young coach, but when I was first getting into college, I was interviewing for jobs and I was posed the question, like, what would your position group be known for? And the thing I said first and foremost was great fundamentals. And I asked what those fundamentals would be. And I don't think I had them clearly defined the way I do today. So I just wanted to talk about what I think the fundamentals of defensive back play are, and then get into the actual nuances of press and slot man at the corner and safety position. But first and foremost, when we talk about fundamentals and secondary, priority number 1 is alignment. To me, alignment number 1 is the same stance every snap. So, if you're playing off, your off stance to look the same man or zone, right? If you're playing press, we have the possibility of bailing. I want that stance to look the same. I don't give the quarterback or the coordinator any pre-snap indication of what we're doing. And then the other key part to alignment is depth and leverage in the secondary position. I think it's cliche, but I have the opportunity to watch a lot of recruiting film, and then I study a lot of film in the offseason. And it's amazing how much you see people who lost the down pre-snaps to use more depth and leverage based on whatever coverage concept is they're playing. Second fundamental for me of defensive back play, obviously you can't do anything until you align correctly. And then priority number 2 is eye progression and eye discipline. So everything we do, we talk about a primary key, a secondary key, and I think that's true of any position. Not just defensive back. I'm the 4-eye. My primary key may be the tackle, but my secondary key on a wide angle departure would be the guard. I'm the inside linebacker. My primary key is the A-gap triangle. My secondary key may be the quarterback on the I-hat. Whatever it may be, I think you have to have a clearly defined eye discipline. I come to find that the majority of mental errors stem from poor eyes. So, that's going to be fundamental number 2 for us.
To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
intended for Dawson Knox. Incomplete. Brings up 3rd and goal.
They were held out last time. Here now is 3rd and goal from the 1. They'll look to run with Singletary. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Buffalo touchdown. Devin Singletary, as time expires in the first half, and the Bills will add on to their lead.
Tackle stance.
They extend their lead a little added cushion into the Rockers. What a way to finish.
And then after we scan the formation,
they carry it with them, and they convert it and bring it back out to start the 3rd quarter.
So we come upon halftime in the AFC title game as we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime.
So just continuing on, talking about our press man technique and progression here.
To decide who takes home the Lamar Hunt drive release.
Typically, it's an offhand jam. If they take a radical release outside our cylinder to where we can't get an offhand jam, then we say we disrupted the timing of the route by making them release wider than anticipated. By doing that, the timing's been disrupted. After we talk about the bottom of the route, which is the release,
very little daylight there. He'll get a couple up to the 44.
Right? When we transition, we want to diagnose the release and the route havoc because
they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D-lineman to make the play.
The last run got a couple. Here's
based on that
2nd and 8.
release. And then what routes can I anticipate based on that release? After we transition, there's going to be a break that occurs. When there is a break that occurs, we talk about matching the receiver. Ultimately, the quarterback's throwing the ball to the receiver at night. If you see the quarterback throw it, you see the receiver catch it. These are all races.
They just aren't there.
So with all that being said, we need to match the hip to find the angle of the reception point. And then once I've matched the hip, I can bring my eyes back late
look to throw
football
here.
if I'm in phase. Big coaching points talk to our guys about man-to-man. We want to see the ball late. We want to see it early.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know, the rhythm seems
Priority
off.
number 2 would be a pass breakup based on where we are on the receiver, where the receiver is on the field. Red zone.
Still just the 3rd quarter, but they got to make something happen.
In the hash area, wherever that may be, how we finish.
4th.
Are the big things we're talking about there, and then obviously if you can't get the PBUs, we got to get them around.
They're going to try and throw.
So going right into the progression, when we talk about stance, we want our shoulders over our knees over our toes, so we want that forward body position in our stance, right? We want our eyes on the edge of your leverage, so we're inside leverage. I want to maintain that leverage hip of the receiver, inside leverage, inside hip of the receiver, outside leverage, outside hip of the receiver, either leverage hip, and we want to have a fine focus, like the Adidas logo right there on the leverage hip is great. Fine focus for our eye discipline while we're in press. We want to have 3 points of flexion, which I know we all talk about. We want to have flexion at the hips, the knees, and the ankles. We want to have a Z in our knee. And we want to be in a comfortable position. Big thing for me with the hands. We'll talk here later about common errors in press. I think you want the hands at the ready. You don't want them down. I don't necessarily have as big as having them up, in a boxer mentality like some people are. But you definitely want them at the ready. And then I think a big coaching point would be the weight.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
On the heels, so we want our weight
much more in their head. And what I mean by
impeding the
that
release,
just what you said, you
thing
go
about
over the
impeding the release
changes. I
we
bet
talk
they were pretty
about
clinical at the
is
half,
the
not
goal
too
of any
emotional.
press defensive
They
back
might
is
need
to
to
make
go
the
to the
receiver
emotional
work
side
for a release
because you've got
outside
to
the
find
framework of
something,
your
some
body.
spark somewhere.
Obviously, that's why
And so
long
far,
corners have come into
just being calm hasn't exactly
play.
worked.
They need any spark at this point.
Trickling down to college. Because obviously, the longer the framework of your body, the wider you can make the receiver
White with a pick.
However, I think any size of which I well, in any size, it doesn't matter. The goal is to make the release outside the framework of your body, whatever the framework is, right? That's getting them off the line. All right, so when we talk about impeding the release, we're talking about staying big square in front of the receiver until he releases outside the framework of our body. So until he declares the release, we want to stay big square and in front. If he's in the framework of our body, we want to be square. We do not want to open the gate. All right, the two different techniques we use to impede the release is inch back and lead trail. That's really in the wrong order. We want a major lead step trail step. All right, that's playing flat down the line of scrimmage. All right, giving no ground. And then our curveball, our secondary approach would be inch back, where we will lose a little ground to stay big square in front of the receiver. Typically, we'll use inch back if the receiver's on the ball, if he's a foot fire type player. And then sometimes some of the shorter corners or inch back to give them a little ground to be able to release. So those are the two main ways we're going to work.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started, and they just had that pick six. I guess the only positive maybe they were turning that for touchdown. This offense right back out onto the field to try to make that play.
I like that because now it doesn't give them a chance to go to the bench and really settle. They got to sit there and kind of seethe over the idea that they turned the ball over previously. Right back out there, it's almost like hopping right back on the bike after falling over. See if they can get the ball moving again. Don't put your feet together. Don't spread your feet. Lead step, trail step. Everyone does it the same way, some sort of ear drill. We want to keep our same base. We want to lead step, trail step. However we work that drill, I think that's good. Here's some shots of it in practice, what it looks like. Alright, so this would be pressed with outside leverage. I think this is a decent stance. I think this is decent eye discipline. At that leverage dip like we talked about. Weight on our end steps, and we're mirroring the release of the receiver. So long as he's in our framework, we're going to stay big squared in front with a lead step, trail step. Now the idea is, when I pause this film, if we're coaching him the right way, after he takes a lead in a trail, his feet should still be underneath his framework. We should still have a Z in our knees. We would prefer the hands not to drop, and our eye focus and eye discipline should remain the same. All right, if he's in our framework, we're staying in a lead step, trail step. Once he releases outside of our framework, we're going to work an off-field jam, and then we're getting into the disrupting the timing part, which we'll talk about more here in a second. Right now, we're just looking at
slid down to avoid taking a big shot. Excellent job getting down
and avoiding the big one-on-ones from the back view, so you get a really good idea of the feet. All right, so here would be another example of lead step, trail step, staying big square in front of the receiver until he declares his release. All right, like we said, we're just trying to make it work outside the framework of our body, so we're trying to make this release go either that way or that way, right? And the more we can lead and trail, the wider the framework of our body gets, the further we're pinning the sideline. All right, so pretty decent job there, staying big squared in front of the receiver. All right, lead step, trail step. We'll get into the rest of it as we talk. Let's talk about the bottom of the route. Here would be a game example.
5 yards is the tally on first down.
That brings up big square in front, making it
that's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz and running
the second way we can do that, impeding the release, is with inch back, right? When we inch back, we still want weight on the inside of our feet. We still want our toes pointing forward. We want to drag our feet on the snap of the ball, and drag is the key coaching point. We do not want to turn this into a back. We want to slowly drag our feet straight back with our toes pointing forward and inch back. All right, to do this, we'll work it on an agile bag or something between their feet. All right, to emphasize and promote keeping a base as we slide our feet back, right? As we do that, we have a receiver gain.
Still a couple yards short of the first.
Back so long as the receiver
bring up fourth down. They figure they got to start taking some chances. Here's a big one in this third quarter.
We only want to be able to go for it on fourth down. As soon as that receiver stems for width, we want to convert right back to a lead step, trail step, get back into our press progression. All right, so there's a good look at it.
Remains until we crown the AFC champion. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Stay big square in front. Right?
And they're indeed going to go for it here on fourth down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out.
Right. Here it is in a one-on-one rep from the back view. All right, so we want to lose ground grudgingly. It's the key coaching point. Dragging our feet. Still want to keep our weight on our insteps. Right? Because at some point we're going to have to be able to push off and get back into a gear. All right, the last point of this is you really don't want to spread your feet either. Right here, I feel like our feet are spreading a tad. We'd like to maintain the same base we had underneath our armpits, underneath our shoulders.
It's not hard to figure out why they're down by that
And then, you know, this is the reason why you prefer inch back is for any kind of put fire, stall, release receiver from the line of scrimmage and buys you time while staying big square in front to stay on top of routes. Feel free to fire away questions. You know, when you're on Zoom, you feel like you're talking to yourself. So if anybody has a question. Same idea here, inch back. Toes pointed forward.
The Bills come to the line to start their next
fires,
drive.
so long as he's standing vertical up and staying inch back. Once he releases from quick or declares a release, then I'm going to refer to a kick slide. I stand on top of the route.
You're shaking hands with your teammate.
Couple game examples in here. Go ahead.
Yeah, for your corners playing press man, what are the pros and cons of playing with inside leverage, forcing a wide receiver to take an outside release?
Yeah, it just depends on
good for
me,
2.
Pros and
Here's
cons
2nd and 8.
Strictly based on what kind of man you're playing. If it's post safety man,
back to Moss.
you know, to me, you only really want to play inside leverage if there's the threat of a slant, right? To take away the slant, and that would be if he has a wide split based on your divider system, where the side.
Knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra,
you know, for us, we're going to play based on a divider rule.
Trying to keep
you
them
know,
from
so
locking
let's
down
say
a
that
game.
divider in this
Right
picture
now, they want to show the world
isn't
they're up to the
necessarily it,
challenge.
but let's say the divider in this picture was the top of the numbers, and we would tell this corner that if that receiver was outside the divider, he could play inside leverage. Number one, promote taking away the leverage for the slant, and then number two, saying that the sidelines is nearest for the help, not the middle for the safety.
Let alone getting two hands
you know, if it
around
was some sort of zero coverage, we probably wouldn't play press, number one. But number two, we would play all inside leverage, saying that the only form of help that we have is the sideline. You know, press quarters could be that way as well. On a normal wide split, you would probably tell him if you're playing press quarters to play some sort of inside leverage to take away the slant, use the sideline as his help. So to me, I don't necessarily see it as a benefit or a negative. It just all depends on where is your help, where is your help not. You know, one of the first things I always start by telling our defensive backs, the dictionary definition of leverage is something you gain from
Super Bowl berth so close 3 quarters
ago. If you're playing
ago,
inside leverage, you should be doing it to gain an advantage on the receiver based on how wide his split is or where your help is.
Tremaine Edmonds there to bring him down.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground.
Got a
but I think
question
the play
just
gets made
about
by the defensive
here
front.
speed.
Because
Do
if
you
they can't
look
get
at
upfield, their job is to go ahead and get
100,
low,
200
almost get into a
track
ball
times?
sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the
especially
runner to find a hole.
talking about corners, I would say long speed is most important for us.
Oftentimes we praise an offense for their variety and being able to hit people with the run and the pass, but in this game,
the 100-meter, 200-meter time will show you recovery time, in my opinion. So that's critical at the corner position where you do get beat at the last scrimmage, can you recover? So the receiver, you know, we talk about your critical factors in recruiting. So at the corner position, the 3 critical factors would be long speed, it would be ball skills, and it would be short area quickness, so shuttle and outfield
From the shotgun now,
would be
it's
like
an
3
inside
critical
hill.
testing factors we're looking for.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
Now a handoff looking right. He's got a first down and then some inside the 40. And he will score. Touchdown, Las Vegas. A big play there. 52 yards. And the Raiders make some inroads here on that deficit. Well, they've been part of the cream of the crop in the AFC all season. It's becoming more and more evident that they're going to get a shot to play for that Super Bowl title.
The momentum has been building, and you mentioned how well they've played throughout the season. It's all come together for them, and they are really laser-focused on being that team to represent in the Super Bowl.
They have been dominant in this one. Oh, it's loose, and the Raiders have it. Great job by the kick team there to get the football, but also don't forget about the man that started it, the lonesome kicker himself.
I love that you brought him into it because he doesn't get nearly the attention he deserves. Oftentimes it's only when it's negative. In this case, he created a positive play for his team.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. He'll let this go deep for Ruggs. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
A gain of 13. It's a first down.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run. Got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
So after 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. And he's taken down inside the 30. 11 more on that one, and another first down.
We'll definitely see some open running lanes, and he's taking advantage of it right now, but that shouldn't be a surprise. Defense has the lead. They're playing for the pass first.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Raider football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Pretty good results here on the first down run as he takes us forward for about 6.
He was taken down.
Well, I think after that run, the defense is getting back in the huddle and looking at each other and maybe starting to question their confidence a bit. They gave up a significant run, 6 yards, and now you're saying to yourself, how do we stop them? And do I have enough confidence to make a play? Yeah, once more, strong running, excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
First down, Raiders.
Now they try the right side here. And he'll work free from 1 tackle, but that's about all as he's taken down.
The tackle
give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Brings up 2nd and 7.
And the AFC champion has been crowned onto the Super Bowl. There cannot be a better feeling than this.
It's almost indescribable. And when we talk to players from the past, a lot of them mention getting to the Super Bowl, winning a conference championship, even before they talk about the Super Bowl itself. All that hard work to get to your goal, incredible.
And that will do it for this one. For Charles Davis, myself, and the entire crew, we'll see you in 2 weeks at the Super Bowl.